Hi, so today I thought I would do a video on taking charge of your fertility and managing fertility investigations. I thought I'd do this video really because I came across my old file full of stuff from when I was having fertility investigations. So I thought I would do a video just on how to organise everything to do with that, because I don't really have any advice from anyone on how to sort of manage that whole process. So the first thing I would do is suggest, if you are in your 30s and you haven't conceived within 6 months, you need to get to the doctor pronto. At the 6-month point of trying to conceive, I knew there must be some sort of issue. I'd had an instinct for years that I was going to find it difficult to conceive. I don't know why, I just did. So as soon as sort of we hit the 6-month point, I thought we needed to get some tests done and get some initial investigations. Here in the UK with the NHS, God love it, it is great that we do have the NHS, but it is notoriously slow in terms of being referred, getting appointments, getting your tests, getting the results back, yada yada yada. So as soon as you start to get concerned, I would start to, one, make sure you are tracking your cycles. There are loads of really good apps out there. I use the Fertility Friend app, and start taking your temperature in the morning with the basal body thermometer, and use ovulation predictor kits. I'm not going to go too much into that because there are plenty of videos that deal with all that side of things. So let's assume you've done that and you've got your appointment to see your GP. The next thing you want to do is get a file with some plastic wallets in it that are sort of all part of the file, because, my friend, you will be inundated with paperwork from this point on. And you are going to want a filing system, because believe me, when you go and see anyone about your fertility tests or results or anything to do with it, you will need to backtrack with them and have proof of things. So take this to every appointment and make sure that as you go along, you put everything in date order or categorise it under the different tests. So that's that. Second thing, if you have had all your test results come back, the basic tests like an LH and FSH sort of test, they're your day 3 and your day 21 tests. If all the standard tests come back normal, get yourself a copy of this book, because it's known as sort of the Bible with unexplained infertility sort of communities. It's by Professor Ellen Beer, and I, as you can see, read it and made copious amounts of notes. It is really good for people who have maybe been on the road of infertility for a while and they have had failed IVF attempts or just unexplained infertility. So grab yourself a copy of the book, start reading it. I know for a fact that within the second page, things started making sense to me in terms of I could almost tick boxes of things that I had experienced that were familiar within the book. So make copious notes and then summarise them and keep the notes in that folder to refer to. Third thing that I would recommend straight off is, if you've had the standard tests done and they've all come back normal, ask for a thyroid test. It isn't done as part of the standard battery tests, and to be honest, the only reason why I got tested for a thyroid issue was because the hospital I was eventually referred to were doing a study at the time, a research project on the link between thyroid problems and subfertility, and I wanted to see if there was a link between the two. So I agreed to be part of the study, and they found that I had an autoimmune thyroid condition called Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which I'll do a separate video on. But to cut a long story short, your thyroid has a massive impact on your fertility. It has a massive impact on various systems within your body. It's like the thermostat and the management system for your body. And so it manages things like your periods, all that, everything to do with that. So if you hear any medical professional tell you that there isn't a link between thyroid problems and fertility, bin them and get a new medical professional. Ask for a second opinion, because there is a definite link in the research if you go and have a look at it. I'll link some sort of research information below to help. The next thing that I would do is, if you're in the UK, have a look on the NHS website, which again I'll leave a link below, on the timescales that you should be seen by GPs and hospitals for. There's a maximum waiting time that you should hit up against, and if you go beyond that point, you are within your rights to sort of make a song and dance about it. So if you are in the UK, keep on top of managing that. Basically, if you're not even in the UK, make sure you're managing your appointments and waiting times for things. Time, it really is of the essence with things. Don't obviously badger people after 2 days, but if you haven't heard back on a letter within a week, follow it up with a phone call. Be persistent with people. Be polite, don't be rude, but definitely keep on top of people and be persistent, and make sure that you have your file with you so you can refer back to things. Because I found that a lot of the problems that I experienced were as a result of different medical professionals having different opinions on things, and a reluctance to take me seriously with the whole thyroid problem. So yeah, I would say keep on top of appointments and keep records of everything. The next tip that I would give you is do your research. If you really want to make sure that you can deal with this whole scenario as quickly as possible, you need to get taken seriously by medical professionals, and you're not going to be taken seriously if you don't really know your stuff. So whatever conditions that you suspect you might have the symptoms of, Google them, and Google respected sort of research and information. Get books out from the library, read around the subject. If you don't understand anything that someone's telling you, ask for an explanation, ask for diagrams. Don't be frightened of being educated on what the possible sort of outcomes of something are, or the possible medical condition that you might have. It's really important to be educated and to feel that you understand all the ins and outs of what's being discussed. The next tip I would give you is to feel free to not see people that make your journey towards having a baby difficult. It is controversial, but I found that around the time I was struggling to conceive, it seemed like everybody was getting pregnant, and it made my life miserable, to be honest. And it's not politically correct to say so, but I felt quite jealous of friends and family who seemed to have the very thing that I had wanted for so long. So feel you can't go to a baby shower, don't go. If you feel you can't see friends' children, don't go. Be polite and explain, be open and honest about it. Whilst going through all of these sort of investigations and tests, they're really invasive and can make you feel quite vulnerable, and People will also ask you things that you may think are inappropriate, so don't be afraid to sort of be open and honest, but firm, and do what you feel is right for you at that point. But don't be bullied by people into doing things you feel you can't do. So my final tips are: make a checklist of any test that you have already had, its results, and any test that you want to have in the future, and then you can tick off each test as you have had it, and then you can keep a track of what all the results were. Being tested for so many different things at different hospitals makes it difficult to track everything. So that's one way of just having it organised, and it's useful to then pass on to a consultant that you might be seeing, and they can see at a glance what you've already had done, what the results of those things were, and where they might decide to take your investigations next. And then my final tip would be to get on side with the consultant's secretaries. They're the ones who run the gig. They're the ones who organise the appointments. They're the people that make things happen, really. They keep track of test results for things, and they are the gatekeepers really for the consultants. So if you really need to sort of move the progress on of your investigations for fertility, the main people you need to keep on side really are the secretaries. I hope you found this video useful. Feel free to ask me any other questions in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them. And hit the subscribe button below if you want to see more videos like this. Okay, hope you are doing well, and I will see you soon. Okay, bye.